Samyogi. Today is September 19th, 2025. Welcome back to the Krishnamurti podcast with Samyogi. This is episode 55. In today's episode, we shall discuss the first question that was asked Krishnamurti on July 30, 1933 in Oman, the Netherlands, after his talk. This is the fourth talk in Oman, Holland, and we went through the entire fourth talk in yesterday's episode, which was a special episode, and you can listen to that. It's a little long. Now let's look at the question first. Question for Krishnamurti. In awareness, must there not be effort? If I find that I have habits that are useless, it requires effort to eliminate them. Does it not? Yet you speak of awareness as being effortless, spontaneous. And Krishnamurti's answer is as follows. Effort exists as long as you are trying to conquer something, as long as you are seeking an achievement with success at the end of it. Whereas awareness is not born of gain or achievement or success, because achievement, success implies time, choice. Awareness is choiceless, timeless. I have explained this very carefully during the last few days. Don't mystify what I am saying. It is very simple. When you realize with your whole being that a habit or an idea or an emotion is futile, then you don't make an effort. The habit may continue, but the decision is finished, and the habit will gradually wear out. It is childish. I am sure you have experimented with it and have found it so. Say you have a habit of scratching yourself. If you are fully conscious of it, if you are aware of it with your whole being, there is a decision. The habit may continue for a while, but it will disappear of its own accord. But now you are not fully conscious of the habit and you try to dominate it, and hence there is a continual desire to control your habit. Okay, let's stop here and understand what he is saying. Suppose you have a nasty habit of digging your nose, and in the office you have done it. You have been chided by your boss, who calls you and says, "Hey, what have you been doing for the last 20 minutes? I was thinking what to write, the logic of the code." Then this person, the boss, who is, say, not very computer literate or algorithm literate, says, "Well, I would expect you would write something, and then if you're thinking, don't sit there just digging your nose." So he just basically wanted to show his power. But if you understood that you have a nasty habit of digging your nose, just understand it. Because you might have found yourself digging your nose at home when you are in front of your computer on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday, and a lot of stuff comes into your hand which you roll into a thing and put it into the dustbin. So that's a nasty habit. Once you understand it A decision is taken and you will never do it again. Okay, let's go back to the answer that Krishnamurti gives and continue with it. Awareness is direct discernment without choice. You can only discern directly or directly, perceive immediately when you approach the problem, that habit, or a crisis with your whole being. Therefore, it requires intense watchfulness, alertness. You do these things when you are interested in them. Now you are not interested in these things. The majority of people is not interested in what I am talking about. Let's see this part again. Awareness is direct discernment without choice. You can only discern directly, perceive immediately when you approach the problem, that habit, or a crisis with your whole being. Therefore, it requires intense watchfulness, alertness. You do these things when you are interested in them. You can only discern directly, perceive immediately when you approach the problem, the habit, or the crisis with your whole being. Therefore, it requires intense watchfulness, alertness. You do these things when you are interested in them. Now you are not interested in these things. The majority of people is not interested in what I am talking about. Why are they not interested? Because they like sensation. They want security, comfort, pleasure. Not that I am saying that you must not have these things. Don't jump to the opposite. Those things take minor importance when you are complete. I don't mean that you must not have clothes, food, shelter, but they are not the first things. They have their right place. So please first find out not what it is to be aware, but if you want to pursue that with all your being, if you want security, comfort, if you are craving all the time for achievement, success, virtue, approach it wholly, not with a tired, wearisome feeling, wanting and not wanting, seeing the absurdity of it intellectually and at the same time emotionally running after it. So this we have covered in yesterday's podcast or in episode 54, where he has explained this beautifully by saying Krishnamurti's own words. Now I am going to explain something which I hope will make what I am saying clear. Most people agree mentally. Mentally you have followed. If you have followed what I have said for the last 3 days, and this is the 4th talk, you will have followed that where there is want, there is lack of discernment. You will agree intellectually, but emotionally you are still wanting, and hence there is conflict. The mind imposes itself on the emotions that want, and hence the continual battle the strain of what you call spirituality, the trying to force together, the two elements that are warring with each other. So mind is convinced of the futility of comfort or of want. Intellectually it is assured of its falseness. Sensationally it still wants it. It is seeking sedulously and is unconsciously absorbed with it. Then what do? There it is. There are two elements in you. One that says no comfort, no security, no want, that intellectually, mentally sees the fallacy of it, and emotionally all the time holding, as is the case with love. What do you call love? As a husband, a wife, a lover, which is a possessive thing. So on this I did mention the Indian philosophy of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, and I'll mention it for the benefit of those who have not listened to episode 54, the last episode. It is not for the sake of the husband that a wife loves the husband. It is for her own sake that the wife loves the husband. It is not for the sake of the wife that the husband loves the wife. It is for his own sake that the husband loves the wife. It is not for the sake of the children that the parents love the children. It is for their own sake that the parents love the children. It is not for the sake of wealth that one loves wealth. It is for one's own sake that one loves wealth, etc. Now let's come back to the answer that Krishnamurti has given. If you want security, comfort, if you are craving all the time for achievement, success, virtue, approach it wholly, not with a tired, wearisome feeling. So on this, also he spoke earlier on that day, which we podcasted yesterday. So where he says his exact words, whereas when you approach it wholly, both with your mind and heart, then you will find the true significance of want. That is, when you are fully aware of this hindrance. Want is hindrance from my point of view. Probably it is not from yours, but to understand whatever it is you want, approach it wholly as a harmonious being, not as a conflicted being. Whether it is jewels, cars, your wife, husband, even God, truth. And before that, he said, now if you emotionally pursue the want, if you emotionally think security is essential for your well-being. So this is where he is addressing what he said in the answer. If you are craving all the time for achievement, success, virtue, approach it wholly, not with a tired, wearisome feeling, wanting and not wanting. So he's talked about it earlier. His exact words. If you emotionally pursue the want, if you emotionally think security is essential for your well-being, pursue it. Don't try to dominate it. Investigate it. Try to plumb its full depths. And in the discovery, in the penetration of want, you will understand the futility of want. I am afraid it is simple and you will miss it. If you want a thing, approach it wholly both with your mind and heart. Look at it intellectually and emotionally. If you want comfort with all its implications of power, domination, take it with both your whole heart and mind. Don't separate your mind from want. So basically he says go after it and you will see the futility of it. And you have to listen to this podcast, which is the last podcast, if you want the whole thing. Or let us continue with the answer here, which is about to end. And with this, the podcast will end. So you cannot know awareness, nor can you maintain it, if you are not interested enough to act wholly with both mind and heart, with your whole being. When you are interested, then out of that comes the flame of awareness. Again, so you cannot know awareness, nor can you maintain it, if you are not interested enough to act wholly with both mind and heart, with your whole being. When you are interested, then out of that comes the flame of awareness. Then it is not a question of maintaining it all the time. It is there when the moment comes, when you approach everything fully, and then you are free of that particular impediment. So by impediment, he means barrier or hindrance. And we have talked about it. The hindrance that stops your action, making it incomplete or infinite. And that is what he means by incompleteness or completeness of action or fullness of life. I hope you liked the podcast today. And if you did, you can share it with someone who is interested in these ideas, or rather these insights. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you. You have a wonderful day.